Right. Good afternoon. Please, thank you very much, caller, for coming in. I know you've been communicating for perhaps the last 12, if not 20 hours or so online. Please go ahead and relay your complaint.
All right. Thank you very much, Simba, for this. And basically, our complaint is that we entered into sort of a partnership with Gambakwe about a year ago. The idea was he had identified land in Kariba, and he was looking for diasporians, people that are based in the diaspora of Zimbabweans, who were interested in partnering with him. So basically, it was a consortium. So he called it Gambako Consortium. So we contributed money. The contribution was supposed to be 5,000, but basically half of the money, 2,000, 2,500, was going to the actual purchase of the land. So I think we were about 14. The numbers they do fluctuate depending with who you're talking to, but we're almost about 14 that contributed initially $2,000, which was the deposit to purchase the land. We paid directly to the seller. Then afterwards, the idea was that the 3,000 was going to come in $500 installments, which was going to go to starting developing the land, getting the architectural work happening, and just preparing to build holiday homes. The idea was to get ourselves holiday homes. We had not agreed on the sizes of the homes, but we were looking at about 1 bed or 2 beds. However, along the way, after we had contributed and paid, I think most of us had paid about 3,000, myself having paid about 4,500, we started questioning Gambakwe's decisions in terms of utilization of the money. He was traveling from South Africa to Kariba. He was going, he was hiring people, and we were asking how he was hiring people, yet we were in a consortium. Ideally, we're supposed to be consulting each other and agreeing. We then agreed to form a committee, which I was nominated to chair the committee. But when we started questioning Gambakwe, one, how he was spending money and how he was making decisions unilaterally, Gambakwe decided to fire us from the consortium, basically by his word of mouth. But then, because we had contributed to the purchase of the land, he had no right to be firing us because we were part of the consortium. Yeah. So later on, we then realized that we had been chucked out of the WhatsApp groups that were happening, and the two factions kind of came out. There's a faction that went with Gambako, which was, I think, about 2 to 3 people, and and the majority of us, about 12 of us or 11 of us, we stayed in one group, and then we formed another group, and then we decided to pursue this matter legally. We did approach a legal practitioner, and we asked them to represent us to at least get our land. What we were looking for was to get our land. So we wrote a letter we sent summons to Gambakwe, basically to sue him so that he could give us our land. I mean, at least our portions of the land that were, commensurate with our contributions, but also, the money that we paid. I had an opportunity to go to Kariba myself, and one of the things that I was doing is to check if, one, the land existed, two, who was staying on the land. And apparently it so happened that on the land, the person who was being said to be a gardener or a caretaker was actually Gambakwe's brother. Yet he had never declared this conflict of interest, that his brother was actually the caretaker there. Recently, we started seeing Gambakwe advertising land and a Kariba project, in many forums where he's talking about he's even having space for other people. But what Gambakwe is not telling people the truth is that this matter is not resolved. It's at the High Court as we speak. It has a case number. This matter is not resolved. Gambakwe has no right to be selling land to other people and even inviting other people without us being being consulted, or without us being resolved, at least, because we are the majority. I mean, we are about 11 of us, and we are not happy, and he has not refunded us. He had promised that he would refund us less expenses, but we said, no, we are not interested in refunds. We need our land. We did not purchase the land from you. The owner of the land legally has a right to be giving us the land. You are just an agent, and we can bypass you at law. So this is our complaint that Gambagwe is peddling lies that this matter, we lost the matter in court, but this matter has not been heard in court as we speak. And he's also inviting other people who are not aware that Gambako is playing them. And he has already started building on land which is being disputed, which is again also very illegal, because you cannot be building and making any activities on land that is under dispute until the courts have finalized the matter. So this is the issue that we have with Gambakwe. We are not in talking terms with Gambakwe. We don't communicate anymore. No updates, nothing. We just say let's go to court. Initially, Gambakwe had mentioned that he was not going to contest this. We have got paperwork from our lawyer that Gambakwe did not want to contest this matter in court. He even wanted to hand over the consortium or this matter. He said it's taking his time. But to our surprise, Gambakwe backtracked and started going backward, to the back end, and started engaging other people. I don't know how many people and how many groups he is engaged in, which is actually to us fraud, because we lost money. We lost money. We lost a lot of our savings. In Gambagwe at this point, he is not waiting for the courts. He's going ahead and even advertising and selling this project as if it is his. It was his money that contributed to the purchase of this land. So what we are looking for is our land. We just need our land. Whoever is contributing should know that this land does not belong to Gambagwe. He does not even have paperwork or title deeds or even proof of ownership, because the transfer of ownership has not happened. Kariba City Town Council has no legal authority to transfer to him until this matter is resolved in the courts. Thanks, Simba. Let me stop here.
Right, and thank you. Why did you contact me right now? Why didn't you contact her? Why did you contact us now, and why now? Because from what I understand, from what you've been saying, you paid this money quite a while ago. Is it over a year ago or so?
Yeah, it's over a year ago, yes.
So tell me, it was
Okay.
over.
Yes,
Help me to understand the connection here. Why the screamer?
All right. So there are two things, Simba. There are two things. We have been waiting. Court processes are not. You cannot hurry them up. We've been waiting. We've been patient, and our legal practitioner has been asking us to be patient and that this matter is going to court. But a few weeks ago, we realized that Gambagwe had started building. One of our contacts told us that Gambagwe was building. We did not believe him. But then we heard also from another source that Gambagwe was already sharing information with other people and inviting other new people to join him in the Kariba project. And that they were building and nothing would stop them. So we then said, look, this is not fair, because this matter is not resolved, and this Gambagwe is lying. And I think the best word is he's defrauding people. He is defrauding people. And we wanted to stop that. The other thing is there's a matter that just came out, I think today, which is a very related. I mean, I'm sorry I can't pick up the name, but which is related by which is happening in the UK.
Qoki, or you can call it Qoki.
Qoki, yes, is exactly what was happening. So this matter came into our inboxes and said, guys, look at what's happening. Exactly, somebody picked it up and said, this is what Gambagwe is doing. And we thought, no, we should stop people like this, because it looks like they may not be connected, but it's a kind of a trend. It's kind of in a habit of defrauding people in the form of forming consortiums, yet somebody is doing their private agenda and driving their private agenda, and it's for private gains. At the end of the day, we are all in different countries. So most of us will not even have time to be fighting on the ground if need be. Let's say if we need to be on the ground in Zimbabwe, some people cannot even come back to Zimbabwe for various reasons. So this is why let's use the social media, I think, channel to let people know. We are not looking for recourse for the matter. The courts will deal with that. But from our side is to also alert other people. And we thought, Simba, through your channel, you could also help us to let people know that Gambagwe is defrauding people through the Kariba project. That project is contested. It's in the courts. He cannot be talking or even be inviting more partners or more investors to it. He cannot be doing so. Back to you.
So tell me, you claim that the the program that you were under Gambakwe, you claim that it is similar to the one that the women in Qoki are suffering from.
Yes, it's similar. It is similar basically. The modus, I would say, the modus operandi is similar. It's similar strategy, and probably these guys may have been reading from the same script. I mean, they may not have, but it's possible that they were reading the same script.
And what is the entrapment? What is the lesson that you could say here?
The
That
lesson that we could say, okay, the
okay.
lesson.
Let me put it across. How were you trapped into it? What
All
what
right.
is it that lured you? Is it a woman? Is it a beautiful woman? Is it a nice car? What exactly? So, because some people would want to know, how did you get into this? How on earth did you get in this? Were you not together? Are you not his friend? And then now you're turning out to accuse him, for instance.
No, actually, I'm not his friend. I'm not Gambako's friend. But
So how did
one,
you
one
how did you get involved into something? You're
all right.
accusing Gambakwe of fraud here, which is very serious. So how did you get into this?
All right. For me, when you're out of Zimbabwe, somehow you want to build back in Zimbabwe. So Gambagwe came up with a good idea of holiday homes. Personally, I'd been thinking about building a holiday home, whether in Kariba or in Victoria Falls. And on my own, the land was very expensive. And I thought as a consortium, we could exchange ideas. So what attracted me is wanting to own a holiday home in Kariba, because Gamba, when he came to us, he had already the land. He showed us papers. He showed us papers that land existed. We even did our back end checks and realized that the land actually existed and there was a seller for sure. And we thought, why not invest back home so that we could have holiday homes, but also creating employment in our own country. That was what attracted us to build back, to build back, to build in Zimbabwe, create jobs, but also invest in something that we can also show to and say, while I was in diaspora, we built a holiday home, and we all need that. I mean, all of us were outside Zimbabwe.
Right. So what trick was it? Because someone wants to know here, what trick was it?
Okay, the tricky part of it was Gambakwe was
And how
not
do you
out.
identify this trick with the Qoki story? Because the Qoki story is it's on its own. Are they similar? Do you have the similar trick being used? Yeah.
Well, I didn't really go into detail about the Koki story, but like I mentioned, it looks like it's the same script that these colleagues have been using. Basically, the trick they use is that they are luring people who are outside the country, outside Zimbabwe, right? People who are in the diaspora, people who are looking for things, to better our lives, whether in where we are now or whether we in Zimbabwe. And what I'm saying is the tricky part of Zimbabwe was that he was not open that he wanted to run this. He wanted to get our money and run with it. So the thing is, it was going to be a cooperation. It was going to be a consortium, and he even made us to sign forms and documents. But it had obligations. It had no rights. You can never have a contract which has no rights and but obligations. But because we wanted to get this land, the issue was that there was urgency to get land, and land in Zimbabwe is very expensive. It's very difficult to get. When we confirmed that this land existed, Gambakwe, we thought, let's hurry up, let's get this land, let's put our heads together and organize ourselves. So for me, the lesson learned is that I don't enter anything until you have thought about it, but also interrogated even the character of a person. I think here we did not do a character check. I mean, I've been following Gambakwe, but because a journalist, and I thought he was a man of integrity and he had more to lose. But to my surprise, I mean, I think he came out, became, he showed, the other side that I never thought, I would face. I mean, I would see out of him. But the tricky part is that these people are using things that they are, one, are scarce, and also they portray a character that they are not. That they want to help people, they want to develop Zimbabwe, but this is not what's happening. This is not what's happening. This is pure fraud.
Um, Now, we haven't yet obtained a comment from Gambakwe because that will be important to hear his side. And my question to you will be, what if he comes and he says, look, this was business failure? Do you understand also that he could easily explain that this was just mere business failure? That what was clearly in his books working and certain later on failed. How would you respond to that?
Uh, you cannot you cannot say that without refunding people's money. One, it cannot be business failure when the project we know it's happening or it's being pursued with other people. So let's talk about business failure when we all know. Let's say if this land did not exist and we had paid for it and we all could see from without a reasonable doubt that we had all lost, we could shake hands and say, guys, this is business failure. Not when one person is pursuing the same business and with other people. That's not business failure. The other thing is that you cannot say it's a business failure when you cannot account for all the costs. Because basically, if it is business failure, let's get our money from the land seller, landowner. He refunds back our money, and Gambako refunds back the money that he used. So you cannot tell me it's business failure when there's no recourse or there's no refund, of some sort. So for me, it's not business failure. It's really fraud, because why is he pursuing another group? Why is he pursuing other people? Why is he even inviting other people? Why not us? I mean, you should have said, "Oh, guys, look, things. I restructured things, but I've got, can we come back and work together?" We tried, Simba, to try and talk to Gambakwe to come to terms that would work for all of us. Gambakwe was not interested in hearing. He was not interested in being accountable. He wanted to get money. He used it however he wanted. He did not want to be questioned. When we questioned that, he fired us. I mean, basically, he fired the committee, and he said the committee had no authority, had no right. And yet we're saying, look, we have no authority because we're nominated by the members of this consortium. And we are working on behalf, not on your behalf, but and also not at your pleasure. But we are working on at the as in common interest. We have got common interest that we gave you money. We can't have entrusted you with 5,000 or less. We can't have trusted you with 5,000 and then you do whatever you want. I mean, that was not the agreement. That was not agreement. So it's not business failure. It's fraud, Simba.
What are your last words to Gambakwe here? Because
My
all these are all allegations. We haven't heard from him, and we are going to be reaching out so that he comes up, because it's important for him to have his side. What are your allegations? Sorry, what
all
are
right.
your what is your communication to him?
My communication, my request is that Gambako be an honorable man. You are a professional. You could do good by just stopping whatever you are doing with other people and waiting for the court process. If you want to contest this, you have been given a chance. Do contest our summons. Do contest our position and be honorable. Do not go out there and speak about something that is being contested. Don't go and talk about a project or land that is being contested and invite other people. It's not honorable. Stop going around and inviting people to a project that you already know that these people will lose. It's not good. Be honorable and honor your word and just wait for the court or the cross process to be done. Or if you don't want a court of process, come back to us. We're still there. We're still intact. We're still communicating. Come back to us and say, guys, how do we start? How do we go from where we are now? We can tell you what needs to be sorted out, right? And then we can discuss. But otherwise, let's leave it to the courts and then we take it from there. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, and I look forward to an engagement with the man himself, the man that you accuse here, and hopefully we can get a um, connection where he speaks and yourself as well and the other complainants, so that the truth can be established.
Thank you very much, Siba. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Well, obvious witnesses here. This is a gentleman by the name Oscar, and Oscar is an investor in a program that was being run by Mr. Pardon Gambakwe, and Oscar contacted us following our investigation on a UK-based group called Qoki, led by one Stule Chuma, which investigation we started over 3 to 4 years ago. An investigation that exposes a scam, which in which people are made to put in money, deposit money for properties in Zimbabwe. These are properties that don't have title deeds, properties under which they are also promised that they will be shareholders when that will never be. And when they ask for information or clarification, they're then bullied. They're then called your enemy of the progress. You shouldn't do this. Just as the owners of these companies, and in this case, the owner of Qoki runs that organization like a gang, or better said, like some people are saying, like their own church. So our investigation has resulted in so many other people coming to speak here and to complain. Are you in this situation? If you're part of Qoki and you've lost money, please contact and connect with us. Thank you very much, Oscar. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Simba. Bye bye.